You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. The most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. Everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country.
Please be seated. Siparia, make some noise. Do better than that. Do better than that, Siparia. Make some noise. Yeah. Let me say a pleasant good evening to former ministers, senators, members of NARTEX, councillors, supporters, and of course the PSA, the labor movement. Good evening to you as well. At this time, I want to present to you, I am Michael Kerr, aka Mikey K, and I want to at this time present to you my co-chair for this evening. Please put your hands together for the man who has been making noise and making quite a great impression as we head to the victory line on April 28th, Mr. Anil Roberts.
UNC family, we on the road to victory. The answer and the choice is clear. That on the 28th of April at 6 p.m., when all the ballots are cast, before a vote is counted, the country will know that Kamla Bissessa will be the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Simply because that is the truth. Kamla is the truth. Kamla is real. Kamla cares. Kamla has done it before, and Kamla will do it again. The other team has collapsed They don't know who in charge, who not in charge. One little lady from down in Siparia had two Dotish men confused because Kamla cares about children. Kamla cares about single mothers. Kamla cares about workers. Kamla cares about your family. Kamla cares about culture. Kamla cares about sport. Kamla cares about education. Kamla cares about your health care. It's that simple. Everybody voting Kamla because when the UNC wins, you know, I love competition. I grew up in competition. I swam for this country from 1978 to 1987. I played football for this country. I coached for this country at Olympics, World Championships, Pan American Games, Commonwealth Games, because I love competition. And competition is when the best go up against the best. Unfortunately, in this politics in Trinidad, all the best are here with the UNC and the coalition of interests. So there is no competition. And just to show you that, I admire intelligence. Intelligence is inspirational, discipline, punctuality, hard work, creativity. I respect all those things. And our first speaker is a man who performed from primary school, straight through secondary school, into university, into specialism. He is a medical doctor specialist, gynecologist, a brilliant man who probably brought 10% of this crowd into the world from their mothers. Please welcome the former Member of Parliament for Faizabad and the next Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister. Make some noise for Lakram Bodo!
UNC family, good night. The code is, good night Siparia, and good night to the returning Member of Parliament for Siparia, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Bisesa, Senior Counsel. Good night, Oropuch West. I want to acknowledge my fellow speakers on this platform, the incoming Member of Parliament, returning Member of Parliament for Oropuchis, Dr. Rudal Monilal, and the returning Member of Parliament for St. Augustine, Khadija Amin. And of course, to recognize the other candidates who are here with us, local government practitioners, and former members of the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, my colleagues previously. Ladies and gentlemen, when the UNC wins, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, thousands of you here today and looking on and viewing, I am here tonight to tell you that when the UNC wins, healthcare will win. When the UNC wins, patients will win. When the UNC wins, doctors, nurses, and all other healthcare workers will win. Because a UNC-led government will work to ensure that all citizens receive proper healthcare. Our focus will be patient-centered and resource-driven. We will put patients first. We will deliver your services in a timely and efficient manner. No longer will the elderly go blind while waiting for their cataract surgery. No longer will heart patients die waiting for their angiograms and their stents for their bypass surgery. No longer will you have to wait years to get your CT and MRI scans. No longer will you be told that this medication and that medication is not available for you. No longer will you be waiting years for your clinic appointments and elective surgeries. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I have here in my hand a document This document is the UNC Manifesto on Healthcare Reform. This document is available on the UNC Facebook page, and several items have been published in the newspapers already. This is a document that was formulated after consultation with several stakeholders and designed with you, the people, in mind. This document has over 50 policies, plans, and programs that will ensure that your incoming UNC government will not only fix the problems I've outlined above, but will do much more for you in the health sector. We will immediately treat the backlog of patients awaiting critical diagnostic tests and surgeries, including cataract and joint replacement surgery. We will complete the construction, equipping, and operationalization of the cardiac catheterization laboratories at all of our major hospitals. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share a story with you here tonight as we talk about cardiac cath labs. And I call this the San Fernando General Cath Lab saga. In 2014, a space was identified at the San Fernando General Hospital. In 2015, tenders were sent out for cath labs. Between 2015 and 2025, my brothers and sisters, no cath lab from the Alsing. Excuse upon excuse upon excuse, but no cath lab for the Alsing, from the Alsing. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? They gave you a car park at the San Fernando Hospital instead of building your cath lab. Nothing's wrong with the car park, it's useful. But it just goes to show how this government chooses to prioritize when they are trying to look after or looking after your needs. Under a UNC government, you would no longer suffer from the shortage of medication that you now experience both as inpatients and outpatients. We will review and update the CDAP program to include newer and more effective drugs, especially for those persons with diabetes and hypertension. We will make every effort to ensure that cancer patients receive their treatment in a timely manner, be it the drugs or radiation treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, this manifesto gives a commitment that the UNC government will fix the supply chain issue to prevent, you're always hearing about the shortage of drugs and equipment and supplies. We give the commitment that we will fix that. This is what hinders the work of our hardworking doctors and nurses. We will do an audit of all the faulty equipment to repair the broken equipment and to repair those that are feasible and, of course, to replace those that need to be replaced. We have to ensure, my brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, that when you go to the hospitals, that the doctors and nurses are fully equipped and prepared and have all the resources to be able to treat with you and to treat with your problems in a timely manner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking about delivering services in a timely manner. Many times you will hear the Alsing boasting about he has done 1,000 this and 1,000 that. What he doesn't tell you is how long you've been waiting for that and how many of you have died waiting for an investigation. We will establish guaranteed maximum waiting times for clinic appointments, diagnostic tests, and surgical procedures. So you will be given the guarantee, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, that when you visit a health facility, that you will be given a time, maximum time that you'll have to wait for any of these investigations. And we will ensure that you, the taxpayer, get value for your money for the over $7 billion annual expenditure in the health sector. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, over $7 billion is spent every year, has been spent every year by this government in the health sector. Have you gotten value for money? No, you haven't. Nobody can say they've gotten value for money. So instead of contracting out the disposal of medical waste to friends and financiers at a monthly cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars, we will repair and, if necessary, upgrade the in-house incineration equipment at the SWRHA. That is what is happening right now at the SWRHA. They are outsourcing. This could be fixed. No longer will your taxpayer dollar be spent on a full-page ad by the NCRHA. If you notice in the newspapers for the past 3, 4, 5 years, every 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, the NCRHA has a full-page ad telling you what? That they are doing what they are paid to do. They're telling you that they're treating patients. That is what they are paid to do. They don't need to spend money advertising this. So we will ensure that that money instead will be spent on fixing the electrical system at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex so you don't have to move ICU patients to another facility every time there is a power outage. What an outrageous situation. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we will ensure that doctors and nurses at the Arima Hospital do what they are paid to do, which is instead of having to transfer their patients to Eric Williams for emergency care and surgeries because they are not provided with the resources to do their work. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I now come to an issue which will go down as the greatest injustice in treating with the healthcare needs of our citizens of Trinidad and Tobago by this heartless PNM government. This is one that Terry should really cry for, and I'll explain why. He really should shed a tear for this. When you hear this story, all of us should be shedding a tear. On Friday, 14th August 2015, then Prime Minister Kamla Bisesa opened a fully equipped 230-bed hospital in Couva. I know, I was there as chairman of the SWRHA. When questioned in Parliament over the years 2015, 2020, the Alsing never failed to refer to it as a construction site. And ladies and gentlemen, the PNM propaganda machinery is so good that even you who were seeing videos of a completed and fully equipped hospital, even you, some of you, they made some of you believe that this was a construction site. But you must never forget that in 2020, this so-called construction site was opened within a matter of 2 weeks, and the Couva Hospital was able to save thousands of lives during the COVID pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the assurance here tonight that when we get into government, as we surely will, that we will make sure that the Couva Hospital is fully operationalized and will be there to benefit all of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And talking about COVID-19, we commit to doing a full review of the management of COVID-19 pandemic in Trinidad and Tobago. And we will create an emergency response plan to cover all possible medical crises ranging from natural hazards and oil spills to infectious diseases. Never again should our country be caught so unprepared as it was under the PNM government during the COVID-19 pandemic. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is a country that, you know, if you can't laugh about it, you're gonna have to cry. Earlier this year, they did only what a PNM government could do. A few weeks ago, they opened a real construction site at the Central Block and called it a hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, they take you, the good people of Trinidad and Tobago, for granted. They think that some of you are fools. Only the PNM has the gall to open a construction site and call it a hospital. But when the UNC opens a hospital, you know it's a real hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, our leader has the plans and policies to rebuild and restore not only the health sector, but our entire nation of Trinidad and Tobago. She is a caring and compassionate leader. Her number one item on the health manifesto is to deal with children, and it is this. It is a commitment to review the Children's Life Fund legislation so that many more of our children with urgent surgical and other medical requirements will be able to access this facility. Kamla will ensure that the elderly and school children receive compassionate and timely care. We'll once again open your health centers for extended hours and on the weekends for your convenience. We will engage the over 500 unemployed doctors to reach out to the elderly and school children in a real and meaningful way in their homes and in the schools. Nothing to do with virtual doctor consultations as proposed by this clueless government. I don't have the time to address the shortcomings of that, but I'll leave that there to discuss at another forum. Ladies and gentlemen, the UNC will ensure that our newborn babies are looked after properly. We will review the status of all the NICU units in our health facilities. You will no longer have to worry that when your newborn baby might die from an infection because there is not enough hand sanitizer available for doctors and nurses to wash their hands. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a finding in the PAHO report when the Alsing tried to shoot the messenger rather than take the message on board. The tragedy of 9 deaths in 7 days last April, 1 year ago, from infection at the Port of Spain General Hospital ought never to happen again in this country. And you know, I just want to make a plug here for San Fernando West and to remind those of you in San Fernando West that the only major project that you got in the last 11 years was the 216-bed San Fernando Teaching Hospital delivered to you in February of 2014 by then Prime Minister Kamla and the People's Partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, she has done it before as Prime Minister and she will do it again when, with your help, on April 28th, she once again becomes Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close, I urge you to go out, to take your families, to take your friends, and to take your neighbors to vote for the United National Congress and the Rising Sun on April 28th. Remember, when the UNC wins, patients win. When the UNC wins, healthcare workers win. When the UNC wins, everybody wins. May God continue to bless our great party, our great leader, and our great nation. I thank you.
Make some noise, sir. Dr. Lakram Bodo. The PNM so confused. They start off with all in. When Kamla destroy it and say, we not all in with crime, we not all in with no water, we not all in with poverty, we not all in with dying babies at the hospital. They change to the word is red. Well, when we mash up that now, they're confused. They talk about responsibility. There is no responsibility in the PNM. You, the citizens, must show responsibility and vote them out. Imagine a bully called Stuart Richard Young say he going to protect our nation's women. Well, boy, I laugh till I get asthma. I choke on my doubles and I wash it down with coffee. Let me tell you, Kamla Bisesa is the strongest woman in this country and she take them all on. And a strong woman finds other strong, brilliant women to serve alongside them. Please welcome our next speaker, the candidate for St. Augustine, former MP and next MP, a woman who came up through local government into the parliament. Make some noise for Khadija Amin.
We are in the home of the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me hear some noise from Siparia. And a special good night to the St. Augustine posse who is here. My brothers and sisters, every day when we walk, when we meet people, we find more and more young people coming and telling us yellow is the code. They are ready to vote for the UNC to be in government. I want to tell you that while the PNM is on their platform busy throwing pecan, we are busy over here making plans and policies to save Trinidad and Tobago, and we are going to win this election. When we walk and we meet young people, we also talk to their parents. Our young people, because they have been denied opportunities, because this government has shut down so many training and tertiary education programs, because our schools are falling apart, because every Monday morning sewer systems leaking, you can't get paper to make photocopies. Our children are falling through the cracks. Our government will, when we come in government, put children and young people at the forefront of national development to ensure that they are ready for sustainable employment. And I want to tell you that our young people have been victims of crime in more ways than one. Because when you are a victim of a criminal is one thing, but many of our young people who end up as criminals are also victims of the PNM mismanagement and neglect. And that is why in our schools, our children must be safe. And so the UNC government will introduce full-time police officers in all schools. The UNC will ensure that our children are in our classrooms safely. But we will also, within the Ministry of Education, prepare all our children to maximize education opportunities. We will have to start off on the right foot. Universal screening and treatment of children. So between the ages of 4 and 6, you will have neurodevelopmental and physical well-being, mental well-being, and socio-economic well-being assessments of our young people. So that very early, you can determine if there are issues that you need to treat with. Because there are many young people in schools who end up as criminals, who are bullies, because they have learning disabilities, because they have problems at home, and we don't know, but it manifests in them being violent to other children. We will ensure that the Student Support Services Division of the Ministry of Education, that the PNM has short staff for the past 10 years, that they are fully staffed, but also re-engineered to become the primary operation for the screening and treatment of our children. So from the age of 4 to 6, it will take them through their entire journey in the schools, so that at any time you could have early detection of issues before it reaches to violence, so that school violence will be reduced under this government. My friends, you have heard us talking about the challenges of the Children's Authority. The Children's Authority was given so much resources under the government led by Kamla from 2010. What happened under the PNM? They are totally dismantled. They don't have staff. They don't have money to do anything. The role of the Children's Authority under the new government will be re-examined and more focused on regulatory and overarching supervisory roles in protecting and developing our children. Because we need to be more focused and ensure that our children's well-being is at the forefront. We all know that our government led by Kamla will provide laptops for children once again. But our Prime Minister, who loves our children so much, has also said that she will go one step further to provide tablets for children in every primary school in this country. Where the PNM took away school books, textbooks, a UNC government will provide textbooks to ensure that the entire curriculum is covered. But my friends, it is more than the primary school. It is more than the secondary school. There are children who might be good in academics, but they like technical and vocational studies. And all these tech voc areas are spaces for careers to be developed. We will establish a full-fledged technical university in this country. We will integrate tech voc into the secondary school system so that students who are interested in technical and vocational education can attend right there in their institution full-time until they graduate. My brothers and sisters, the National Training Agency will be directly involved in delivering technical and vocational education. So we will be creating more spaces, more employment for persons who are qualified to ensure that our curriculum for technical and vocational officers are in gear so that our young people can graduate from secondary school with a combination of O-levels, A-levels, and CVQ for those with tech box skills. My friends, we will continue to protect our young people from the criminal scourge that this PNM has brought upon this land. I told you that we will ensure that every school has police officers, but we will ensure as well that every school has its full complement of deans of discipline, security officers, and schools safety officers to ensure that every child is safe. At present, we have teacher shortages. But you know what you also have? You have teachers who are under attack. You have teachers who are afraid to go to the classrooms because of the violence of students. Under a government led by Kamla we will ensure that there is a full complement of student support services that includes guidance counselors, guidance officers, school social workers, with educational, behavioral, and clinical psychologists looking at not just students in need, but teachers as well who need support. We will implement a policy whereby students must undergo free but mandatory annual physical and medical screening by state-owned public and private medical doctors. You know what that will do? That will ensure that very early on, you can detect students who are victims of physical abuse, sexual abuse, substance abuse, malnutrition, and any diseases. Again, Kamla is a prime minister who loves all our children, all. Our prime minister-to-be has also told us that she will ensure there will be after-school meals for children who apply in schools to be provided by the school feeding program. So you will have breakfast, not breakfasts, breakfast, lunch, and an after-school meal. We will establish for parents, all you know, I'm sure we have many parents in this crowd. I am a parent too. All you know, parents are forced to work in some cases, both parents working and some parents working more than one jobs. When you reach home, you're tired. You could barely take care of your children. This government will establish parental support groups for single parents as well as families who are victims of violence to ensure that not a single one falls through the cracks. Not a single one will be left behind. And I want to say that in everything we do, our political leader always tells us, put God in front and we walk behind. Well, there is a role for our faith-based organizations, and I want to tell you that one of our methods for dealing with children and reducing crime is to establish a fund for faith-based weekly community mentoring and guidance programs. So I'm putting all of you religious leaders on alert. Under a government led by Kamla there's a role for every church, every mosque, every temple, every religion in saving our nation. My brothers and sisters, when we speak about crime and we speak about our young people falling victims, we speak also about having boots on the ground and police officers. Our Prime Minister-to-be has told us that there is a hard approach to crime fighting and a soft approach to crime fighting. That soft approach to crime fighting is to ensure that our children have all the opportunities they deserve in our primary, secondary schools, that they have training opportunities available at tertiary and the technical and vocational levels, that they have sustainable jobs to get when they finish school, because at this time, we have so many young people, they have their degree, their parents sacrifice so much for them, and they can't even get a job. And that is thanks to the PNM. But the government led by Kamla Bissessa created 50,000 jobs in the last term, and we will create more jobs when we return. So this government represents hope for our young people, and the soft approach to crime fighting also involves sports and community activities that will keep them away from the criminal elements and from the gang recruitment. It also involves culture, whether it is calypso, Best Village, Carnival, and bringing forward their talent to contribute in a positive way. But you know what? By creating opportunities for all of these small and micro entrepreneurs, our young people have an incentive to go in a positive way. And you know what? We can then finally free our children of the grip of this criminal scourge that the PNM has allowed to wander this land. So, Siparia, I say to you tonight that when the UNC wins, our young people win. When the UNC win, our parents win. When the UNC wins, everybody wins.
A round of applause once again for Khadija Amin, please. Let me apologize. It is no fault of our own. That strong wind that you're getting, I'm sure you're hearing it in the speakers and what have you. We have no control over that, but I can tell you this much. The winds of change is blowing hard, my friend, and strong, my friend, right here in Siparia. Bear with us. Let me, of course, acknowledge the political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, a good friend, Philip Alexander. Let me also say a pleasant good evening to JTUM President and the OWTU reps, Comrade Ansel Rocher. Let me say a pleasant good evening to a man who works with me on the ground report, my co-host. He is also the political leader of the Laventille Outreach Vertical Enrichment Party, Mr. Lennox Smith. And what you're going to hear tonight is policies in the interest of you, the people, and your children, where it is that we join with Kamla Bissessa to restore good governance in this country based on transparency and accountability. That's what you're going to hear tonight. You're not going to hear about the fact that the crowd, ethnicity, and how it was made up. We don't have time for that. We were told as Afro-Trinbagonians that we disappointed Dr. Rowley. He was disappointed in us. We should have been more advanced than where we are now in society. And then you ask yourself, on what? PNM policies? What PNM policy can elevate the life of any citizen in this country? That we are not taking. We know on April 28th, the new Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago will be Kamla Bissessa. Let me also say good evening to Professor Selwyn Kojo. Good evening, sir, and welcome, and all are invited guests. It's quite easy. I know that many of you came off of your walkabouts. And again, I want to say a special acknowledgement to the people who are always there with the energy and with the enthusiasm to say, listen, we have to walk today. All the support staff members for the candidates, give yourselves a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. As you know, it was said that if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. And that's what it means. Our next speaker, I want to ask you, of course, to assist me on bringing him up on stage. When I point to you, you just have to say, the lion. When I do this, you just say, the lion. He is, of course, academically inclined. He possesses a Bachelor in Science degree in Honors in Government from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. He has a degree in Labor and Development and a PhD in Developmental Studies from the Government of the Netherlands. He was also advisor to different trade unions, consultant advisor to the Northwest Regional Health Authority. He's a former Minister of Housing, leader of government business in Parliament, and Director Policy Monitoring Youth. And of course, you know we're talking about the Member of Parliament for Oropouche East with over 20 years.
help you there.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
The who?
the man, the lion,
Who?
the man of Oropouche East, the
The lion!
Bring him on!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anil and Mikey, for that tag team introduction. Brothers and sisters assembled at Pinal, in the heart of the constituency of the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Bisesa. And as we acknowledge her, we ask you now to stand and welcome the former Member of Parliament for Siparia, the next Member of Parliament for Siparia, the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome the political leader that will take us back into government on April 28th.
Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can be a place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one.
Once again, a row. Welcome the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, to this electrifying meeting at Pinal Junction. And brothers and sisters, 14 days away from referring to her officially and formally as Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, brothers and sisters. and surely you will be hearing from our leader momentarily. Brothers and sisters, as I begin my contribution, I want to acknowledge to you that we have just ended a state of emergency. How many of you really know that? Did you feel any difference? Did you feel safer? Were you less likely to be robbed? Were you less likely to be a victim of home invasion? This has been a complete failure, mismanaged, misconceived, misadvised by the government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Stuart Young and Keith Rowley. They are now a two-headed snake. I want to ask them tonight, who is your leader? One leader pops up one day, the next leader pop up the next day. Brothers and sisters, they are desperate. Did you hear them? They are coming now with promises to deal with housing and land and crime and everything conceivable under the sun. Where were they for 10 years? You would think that they were the opposition. Suddenly, Stuart Young wake up. He said, we have a crime plan. But why the hell you didn't put the crime plan 10 years ago and save 5,000 lives? Why? But you see, he listens to Kamla Prasad-Bissessa because Mrs. Prasad-Bissessa has been outlining for several years our robust anti-crime agenda. And the political leader spoke about her plans for crime and dealing with crime. Health. The one that really gets me is Mrs. Prasad-Bissessa introduced a novel idea of having doctors visit the elderly in their community and so on. Stuart Young say, man, better than that. Virtual examination. So you now have to go and tell Nani and Nana and Aja and Mausi that they have to get a smartphone. They have to get a smartphone. And if they have cataract and thing, well, how they go see the doctor? And then they have to keep an adult child home, because when you're doing this virtual examination, somebody has to hold the phone to show which part of the neck hurting or head and so on. That is Stuart Young. That fella is clueless about solving the problems of this country. He's now talking about an elite unit to fight crime. I think the TTPS has the most elite units in the world. Every division has an elite unit. In fact, we don't have non-elite police. Everybody, elite. But that, look at what he's saying closely. That is another PNM mongoose gang that they want to introduce and call it elite unit. Brothers and sisters, I tell you this because you must be warned. They have no plan. They have absolutely no clue in solving the problems facing this country. The state of emergency has been a failure. Do you know between Friday night and Saturday, Saturday, this weekend gone here, today's Monday. Do you know there were 6 murders? We have registered so far 111 murders during the state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago. Because they could not manage, they cannot manage. On the way out, they want to promise everything. They promised you a plywood factory years ago, forget that. They promise you investment, forget that. They promise dragon deal, forget that. They promise sandals, forget that. Today, Stuart Young comes now with more and more promise. But you must promise him that on April 28th, you will terminate his employment. That is what you must promise him. Brothers and sisters, I want to speak to you briefly on this matter of crime. I told you the statistics are there. 111 murders during a state of emergency. Home invasions like never before. Robbery. Brothers and sisters, larceny of motor vehicles and so on. We have had kidnapping as well. Brothers and sisters, we are working. Your UNC administration will work. We have produced, of course, and I want to quote from this in case you didn't see it. We have produced, brothers and sisters, a plan to deal with crime, to fight crime with intelligence, competence, and purpose. This is our UNC manifesto dealing with crime. And brothers and sisters, we won't have time to read everything, but I can tell you a few highlights of this document. We will implement the following anti-crime plans. We will create the offense of home invasion with stiff penalties to go with that hideous offense. We will pass stand your ground laws. We will allow for the right to bear arms or modify the current legislation to make acquiring firearms by law-abiding citizens easier. We will change legislation to make gating communities easier. We will introduce police officers full-time in schools. We will expand the complement of municipal police. Brothers and sisters, we will restructure the Ministry of National Security. We will provide diplomas, undergraduate and postgraduate degrees in policing for recruits, combined with a police apprenticeship program. Brothers and sisters, we will implement individual risk and financial assessments. We will establish minimum security detention centers. We will establish a fund for children who have lost one or both parents to crime. We will construct a forensic science complex and a national security training facility. Here where that national security training facility, brothers and sisters, will be at the spanking new WZYE campus, which they have left to run down, remain closed, Karaili vine growing on the wall, grass and bush covered in the facility. We will open the WZYE campus, brothers and sisters. We will do that. We will ensure that the TTPS officers and prison officers are provided with personal licensed firearm. Brothers and sisters, we will restructure programs to deal with our youth and the youth, preventing them from joining crime, gangs and criminal activity. Brothers and sisters, we will introduce parent patrols in school, establish free counseling sessions and so on, and mediation services. A lot of policies we will introduce to deal with this problem of crime, including expanding and really operationalizing our CCTV camera system. You know, this fellow Stuart Young is shameless, you know. He's shameless. I don't know, he should go in a supermarket and buy a pound of shame. He's shameless. Today he's talking about technology, fighting crime with technology. What he was doing, sleeping for 10 years? Huh? What was Kumkaran? Brothers and sisters, today he speaks about technology. When he presided as Minister of National Security, he presided over the collapse of the CCTV systems in this country. Remember that at one stage, brothers and sisters, I think 50% of all cameras were working when he was Minister of National Security. Now we come in to tell you technology to fight crime. Brothers and sisters, you must remember him on April 28th and vote him out. Vote them out, because when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Some of our policies, brothers and sisters. Training of police officers. Stuart Young is talking today. I read in the newspaper. I don't really read anything he said, but I had to read because I was talking tonight. He says what? We'll pass law to protect police officers undercover and so on. Hey, the first thing you have to do is prevent police from dying by equipping them properly with proper equipment, state-of-the-art equipment, modern, up-to-date bulletproof vests, ensuring that they have equipment in the police stations. This country is very small. Policemen know everybody know who is police, who is not police. It is hard to have undercover police here. That requires cooperation with other jurisdictions and so on. When you live on an island, everybody know everybody. So you have to begin by protecting the policeman from death, from injury and danger, because you have failed to provide him with adequate protective gear and equipment to do his job, brothers and sisters. Stuart Young talking now about the new chapter. Well, you know the name of this new chapter? It's called bankruptcy. They will bankrupt Trinidad and Tobago if they get one day after the April 28th. We are already heading down that trace, brothers and sisters. We're already going in that direction. Sister Khadija and Dr. Bodo spoke to you earlier about that. Brothers and sisters, in the few minutes I have left, I want to just again remind you of our... Thank you very much. You're very kind, Anil. Anil tells me take as much time as I want all night. Brothers and sisters, at his own peril. Brothers and sisters, I just want to remind you, the listening audience, and in our audience, I want to acknowledge the presence of the leadership of the entire trade union movement assembled this evening. Our comrade members. And we want to remind the public workers and the working class that we will be implementing the 9% settlement for NIB workers for the period 2014 to 2016. We will repeal the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Act. We will throw in the dustbin the PNM plan for WASA, the Cabinet Subcommittee plan. We will throw that in a dustbin. We will commence wage negotiations starting, all you hear this one, huh? Starting at 10% for public service workers. We will pay the debt owed on the medical plan, brothers and sisters. And brothers and sisters, Stuart Young was Minister of Energy when 4 comrades died, such a miserable and horrific death in a pipeline. You all remember that? He was Minister of Energy and did nothing. We will implement a new law, criminal offense of corporate manslaughter to jail those who are responsible. We are committed to creating a living wage. We are committed, brothers and sisters, to improving the health plan for all public sector workers. We will also modernize all labor legislation and bring that up to date with the modern workplace. We will strengthen the role of the agricultural agencies to support farmers in their local, regional, and international commercial activity. We will increase protection for domestic workers who are often, brothers and sisters, exploited. We will treat the private security officers with respect and dignity and protect them. Brothers and sisters, we cannot take one day more of Stuart Young. We cannot take one day more of Rowley. We cannot take one day more of Imbert and all of them. Do you know in National Security Ministry, there's a division called Immigration? The Immigration Division in San Fernando, that office is closed today. You know that? They closed the Immigration Office in San Fernando because they simply did not pay the rent. They squandered millions of dollars and they did not pay the rent. And the Immigration Office in San Fernando, Knox Street, I believe, is closed. So today, brothers and sisters, individuals are frustrated. They need to travel to Shagwana, Point Fortin for passport appointments, for extensions, the student permits, residency and visa applications. You have to go to Port of Spain. That is the strain that residents and individuals and visitors face. While they were blowing all the money, I want to leave you with one issue tonight. You all know I had spoken about the mosquito crack. You all know what that is? The mosquito crack. They could not even build one piece of highway at the Mosquito Creek. Mash up. 2 years ago, I asked in the parliament, how much money to fix that, to repair that? How much? Minister Rohan Sinanan stood in the parliament. He said, don't worry, the taxpayers will never pay to fix that because there's something called a defect liability period, meaning a contractor will repair the work during that period. Do you know what is scandalous? And they're asking where people getting money from. I want to tell you where the PNM does get money from. From failed projects, they get money. They build house fall down. Man gone with $100 million in Trust Trail. I am proud that when we were in office, we gave out 100 homes per week. Not one house fall down. Not one house fall down. Do you know, Dr. Bodo spoke about earlier, I just discovered last week something. There was an earthquake in 2018, I believe it was. It was a very, very significant earthquake with a magnitude, I believe, of 6.9 or so. Significant. Do you know they secretly went in the Cuba hospital, secretly, to do testing, to look for crack, a break up wall, disrepair, damage, so they could take pictures and embarrass the former partnership administration. They found nothing. They could not find a crack. They could not find damaged wall. They could not find damaged ceiling. They could find nothing in the Cuba Children's Hospital. But you have the mosquito crack. Do you know they went to cabinet with a note a few weeks ago? The defect liability period ended. 48 hours after the defect liability period ended, you know what they did? They issued a contract to repair the mosquito crack at $78 million. $78 million 2 days after the defect liability period ended. And then they gone to cabinet to approve $96 million. Where the rest of the money going? Where is the money going? 78 to 96, brothers and sisters. Where is that money going? That is the campaign money. That is campaign. So, brothers and sisters, we cannot keep them in office one day again. I told you about the immigration. Look what they're doing. Do you know they're asking CPEP contractors to fund PNM candidates? I heard it with my own ears, brothers and sisters. So I want to tell you this evening, as I end, unite in solidarity. Unite, brothers and sisters, under the banner of the United National Congress and our coalition of interests. There is no third party and fourth party and fifth party. There's the UNC. There is the coalition of interest. There's Kamla Bisesa. And brothers and sisters, I want to tell you, as far as Arapuch East is concerned, I want to tell you it will be a very tight race. It will be very close in Arapuch East. We understand in Arapuch East it will be very close. The PNM candidate is fighting hard to maintain the deposit. It's a tight race between the PNM and the deposit, and the PNM will not even win their deposit in Arapuch East. They will not win their deposit in Siparia. They will not win their deposit in Arapuch West. We want them out, so brothers and sisters, on April 28th, when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Long live the great struggle for justice, equality, and unity.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
They had some PNM inside the UNC who like Larry Lala who fight down Kamla. But Kamla stands strong and will be the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Sometimes you have to laugh. I was here by the barber and I get a support from inside the PNM that the PNM reject Lala too. He went on the podium in Exodus and Rowley Cosway Stewart and no more Lala. You know, Lala say he's so important and they're talking about him. No, Lala. I embarrass for you. As a father, ashamed for you. I feel sorry for you. I have pity on you to be such a spineless individual. You're useless. So this is the last time I say Lala, Lala, Lala. So Kamla make the PNM change from all in to what did I say? Red, ready, and responsible. But them is the men who leave 4 men in a pipe for 39 hours knowing they were alive. Understand that, they had proof of life and they did nothing to save them 4 men. So I will rebrand the PNM for you. Them red, ready, and rancid. That is the PNM who during COVID would not let you come home, who practiced geographic discrimination, who would not let Hindu community burn their people in open fire. I rebrand the PNM red, ready, and rotten. This is the PNM. This is the PNM. that Rowley negotiating deal, Dragon Gas buying boat down in Australia. I rebrand the PNM, red, ready, and rocket. And finally, on April 28th, the real rebranding of the PNM shall be red, ready, and removed. Because we voted UNC, we voted Kamla Prasad, Bisesa. The whole country joining Kamla. The whole country wants Kamla to be the prime minister. All of Labour, all the people, man, woman, child, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Orisha, Baptist, Jah, Rastafari, they're going down with Kamla. Well, I bring it to tell you, even some good members, intelligent members, members with class and brain of the PNM, joining with Kamla, bringing to you a guest speaker, former Attorney General of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Senior Counsel, John Jeremy.
Good night, brothers and sisters, and thank you for the generous and warm introduction. Let's face it, I am the last man you would expect to see here tonight. I have fought bitter battles in the Parliament against many of you who are seated here. I understand that in our culture, it is frowned upon to change loyalties. I am fully aware of all of the ways that I can be harmed for where I stand tonight, and I gain nothing. Brothers and sisters, I was a child of the PNM. My deceased mother worked for the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Eric Williams. And as a child, I spent hours in a room at Whitehall, outside of the office of Eric Williams, waiting on my mother to finish work. At university, I became a member of the People's National Movement. And years later, I served the PNM and the country loyally in the Parliament. 2 weeks ago, only 2 weeks ago, for those of you who follow the politics, at a public meeting on Harris Promenade, they spoke in complimentary terms of my work. Tonight, I speak to you as a patriot. And tonight, by definition, I speak therefore outside of the PNM. For me, brothers and sisters, it has always been country first. That is why I took up battles against corruption, because corruption robs the young and the unborn. I have known the leader, the honorable leader of the opposition, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel, since she taught me English language at the University of the West Indies. That was more than 30 years ago. Later, when she transferred to law and came to the Cave campus as a student, she was, if my memory serves me correctly, she was pregnant. And she struggled to attend lectures. So I was happy to lend her, my teacher, the notes that I had. She went on to finish top of the class at the University of the West Indies. Years later, we found ourselves on opposing sides, but both serving the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the parliament. I view her too as a patriot. I view her as a mother, a grandmother, and a friend who has worked tirelessly in the service of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, I want to say a couple things to you. First, it is time for us as a people to stop the race talk. The newspaper on Saturday was full of it, and it did not come from the UNC platform. It came from a PNM platform. Now, listen carefully. At a meeting in Chaguanas last Wednesday, it was said that the UNC was using black Trinidadians to spread a message of division and hate. Tonight, as an educated black man with a certain degree of academic and national accomplishments, I stand here in front of you to endorse the United National Congress. And I stand to reject that statement. I recognize Professor Selwyn Cudjoe and my brother Kennedy Sorat Singh here as well, and I know I speak for them on this matter. Second, I urge you and the viewing public to take a good, hard look at the state of the country today. I ask you to look honestly at what is going on. To say that this country is in crisis is an understatement. The criminal element is threatening to overwhelm us all. And that is not my conclusion. It is the conclusion of the present government, which declared that a state of emergency existed in this country several months ago. The economy is beyond crisis. We have basically spent all of our reserves in the past 10 years. All the economic and social indicators suggest that we are in a place beyond crisis. And so tonight, we stand together at a junction in our history and on the eve of a very important general election. I ask you now a couple questions. The first is a question that has been asked before of a population faced with the choice that faces you on the 28th of April. It is this: are you better off today than you were 10 years ago? Brothers and sisters, the answer to that question must honestly be no. I then ask another question: are you going to continue with those who have driven us to this point of crisis? Again, the logical answer must be no. And so, my brothers and sisters, I urge you and the viewing public to do as I will on the 28th of April. I will vote for change. I will vote for the United National Congress. I urge you to ask your friends to do so. I will. I urge you to ask your relatives to do so. I will. I urge you to ignore the race talk and those who will divide us on the basis of race. Give yourselves and your children a chance to change our future. God bless and good night.
Once again, a round of applause for former Senator and the former Attorney General, Mr. John Jeremy. At this time, Siparia, are you ready? Are you ready? You know the answer to this. When I say it, you know the name. Who has a plan for better health care? Who has a plan to make sure that our children are globally competitive? Who has a plan to secure the lives of the citizens of this country? Who has a plan for better infrastructure? Siparia, please stand. Put your hands together and welcome the former Attorney General, former Minister of Education, and the former Prime Minister and next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Kamla Bissessar.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins,
UNC family, UNC family and friends. Good evening, good evening. Good evening to all of you. Today, my brother-in-law has joined us, John Jeremy. Give him a round of applause. So we have been teacher. I was his teacher first, as he told you. Then he was my teacher by the time I entered law school because he shared his notes with me so generously. Sorry, John, but I had to top the law class using your notes. Let us give John Jeremy a round of applause. The UNC welcomes him. And Siparia, let's give everybody a Siparia welcome tonight. Thank you all so much. And with us are other very distinguished persons for us to acknowledge our own candidates from the PP, from the COP, and from the UNC and the Love Movement. Give them a round of applause. From the Labour Movement, let us welcome Mr. Ansel Roger, who has joined us tonight. Let us welcome Mr. Batiste, and new Madam President from the PSA. Thank you so much. And Philip, stand up, Philip, and take a bow. You're in my hometown. Thank you, thank you. And we have some other very special persons with us tonight. We have former Minister and Member of Parliament, Kennedy Swarat Singh, Father Swarat Singh. Please stand up. Welcome him. And I also welcome a strong person who has joined me for maybe 5 years now, but he has become really, really vocal. I speak of none other than Professor Selwyn Cudjoe. Please stand up. Thank you, Professor. But I turned to Ansel when I was sitting in my seat whilst John was speaking, and I had to bow my head for a minute, John, because tears came to my eyes with the words that you shared with us today. You will not know how much they mean to me, and I know that my UNC family will welcome you with open arms. So please. So I'm very happy tonight to meet you all in my childhood hometown, in the heart of the constituency of Siparia here in Penal. This is a great constituency because you see, not too far from here is the Penal Junction. And I always say Penal is a confluence of several tributaries flowing in from Aruga, flowing in from Rock Road, flowing in from Rochard Road, flowing in from Clark Road, from San Francisco, and is the mainstream of the Siparia Erin Road, which takes us right down to Siparia proper. So we all meet here on this junction. And it is a meeting place and a symbol of unity in diversity. This is an area where rice, Professor, rice, cocoa, sugarcane, and oil, that the great people of this region, or indeed our country, coexist in the same sphere, in the same place, in the same landscape. Siparia, we come from a generation whose parents had little to nothing, but what did they do? They sacrificed. So our foreparents has given them up, the love they shared with us. They sacrificed everything so that we could have something. They worked tirelessly to give us an education. Without that education, many of us would not be here. I would not be on this platform, and that is why a main thrust of my plans and my policies has always been in education. Because I see education is a passport outside of poverty. Education is the key to a better quality of life. And so your new UNC government will again put education at the center of our programs. And so the sacrifices our parents and foreparents made, all of us in this land, who worked tirelessly to give us an education, to give us a future, a chance to raise a family, a chance to own a home. Their sacrifices must not be in vain, must never ever be in vain. Their perseverance and dedication were about individual success and building a better future for all of us. It was about coming together as a community, supporting one another and working towards common goals. It was coming together as a community. The spirit of unity, I tell you, collective effort has always been our strength, has always been our strength. And it is the same spirit that we must now invoke to accomplish great things together as a nation. I speak to our UNC membership and our friends tonight with a spirit of gratitude and love. Because when we consider what is at stake in this election, other speakers have shared, I will continue to share what is at stake in this election. When you go to the polls on April 28th, I want you to remember what is at stake. You're not simply voting for a member of parliament, you're voting for the future of our nation. Look at the faces. Look at the faces of your loved ones, your wife, your husband, your children, your mother, your father. Look at their faces. Look at the face of your brother and your sister. Look at the faces of all the people you love. Understand that they are the ones that you are voting for on April 28th. Never forget. It is about them. It is about their future. It is about their security. It is about their safety. It is about their mental health. And above all, it is about their peace and happiness. Remember that when you cast your vote on April 28th. And what is the track record of people-centered achievements of the leaders of the political parties? What are those achievements? What have they done in their lives to prove that they are indeed, as they say, responsible? Are they in touch with the ground? Are they in touch with real people? I heard the new Prime Minister talking about, he went in the supermarket. Man, where are you living for the last 10 years? He now gone in supermarket and find out how high the prices are. But then who was there for 10 years to have all the food prices sky high? He now discovered have something called grocery and supermarket. Are they in touch with you? Do they understand what you face every single day in this country? What have they said or done to show that they can improve your lives and the lives of your loved ones? Nothing. They've done nothing. On the other hand, I ask you to compare my track record, people-centered delivery to others, and look at the other parties who have joined us, and you will see that we delivered for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We delivered for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because you know why? When UNC wins, and we will deliver again for everybody, because when UNC wins, everybody wins. Everybody wins. You need to know that your leaders care about the things, the same things that you care about. You need to know that. You need to know that your leader understands what you expect, your ambitions, and they must know what are your fears. What are the things that you're scared of? In my life, I lived through many of the same shared experiences as most of you. I worked and earned my way to where I am today. There's a leader who got their position only because of nepotism. The leader in the other party, how did you reach there? Did you work for that? Or that was handed, you were anointed? Our country is not that of a kingdom. This is a democracy, and leaders must be elected to lead. That other leader got his position by name recognition, or maybe by purchasing the leadership, I don't know. And that he will never care for you and represent you properly, because he will never properly understand you and your own experiences. Ask the other leaders to tell you their track record of delivery and of standing up to protect you. Ask them, Papa parties, what have they ever done? What have they shared? Have they walked with you on the ground? Have they cried with you and your children? When things happened, where were they for the past 10 years? It was the UNC and our friends. We were there in the parliament and outside the parliament. We were there with you and for you. They have none. No people-centered track record to show you. Theirs is only what daddy gave them. Only nepotism and favoritism. Never hard work and sacrifice like you do every single day. And so, my friends, many of you understand how it feels when you study for years only to graduate and then you cannot get a job. You can't get a job. You go to high school, you go to university, you come out. There's so many doctors, educated doctors in this country, can't get a job. There's so many talented people, no jobs. No jobs. We want to change that. We did it before. We will do it again. We will do it again. I talk about a track record of people-centered government. We created over 55,000 new jobs under my watch. And with your help, with your vote on April 28th, we will do it again. We will create the jobs. We will create the jobs. And so you see your son or your daughter, you see yourself highly qualified, but when you check around, the ones getting the jobs have no qualifications, none, and you are bypassed. That must stop. And after April 28th, we will stop it. We will stop it. Many of you know about working hard for a promotion. You work hard and then you see someone else gets it because they have connections. They have connections, they have name. Those are experiences that many of us have shared. Almost every one of you has been unfairly treated and lost opportunities that you earn. And that is handed over to some lazy person whose daddy has influence. Whose daddy has influence. You work hard every day, and then poof, someone parachutes into the position you earned because their father knows somebody, or they dried off on their own father's name. They pop up and take the place that you deserve, that you earned. That must stop after April 28th. Those experiences many of you have shared. And tonight, I talk to you as a leader who was gifted their position, not because of nepotism. Nobody knew my name. Who's that little coolie girl from Dong Pinal boy? Whom? Who is that little black boy from Siparia? Whom? We are people, whether we are from north, east, west, or south, we deserve an equal space. And when they want to divide us on race, I said, look at me. Whether you're red, whether you're blue, green, yellow, if you cut me and you cut yourself, it is the same red blood flowing in our veins. It is the same. We are all of the human race, regardless of where we come from, regardless of what we look like. We belong to the divine race, the human race. So I know you will want to hear me say some things of what we will do as we go forward. We are providing policies and plans. I asked you to compare the plans and policies of the UNC to the lack of plans from the PNM and the PNM finance pop-up parties. Remember, those people are there being financed by the PNM to do what? To try to split your votes. This year, this election, on April 28th, do not waste your vote. Do not spoil your vote. Cast your X next to the COP candidate, next to the Love Movement candidate, next to the UNC candidate and the PP candidates. Let us together go forward as a coalition of interest to rescue Trinidad and Tobago. So compare the plans. You will see that everybody wins with the UNC plans. Your leader will have to make decisions on your behalf. And it will not be decisions that some would like. Because my decisions and those of my colleagues will be for the 99% of people in this country. That is where we lie. That is what we will do. That is where we come to you to ask you for your vote on the 28th so that we can breathe again after April 28th. Cast your X next to the rising sun. As Mr. Jeremy did, my brother John did, I ask you a question. Which leader do you believe will serve you and serve the people after the 20th? Which leader? Let's hear you. Talk to me. I'm your sister. I'm your daughter. Talk to me. I will do it. I will do it. Talk to me. When you go to vote, consider the UNC plans, the policies, consider issues, consider what the UNC is willing to do that our opponents cannot do, they won't do for you. They had 10 years. Oh, good Lord, man. Leroy, 10 years they're there. They make all the promises, did not keep one. You think they come in after the 20th to keep any foolish promise they're making on the platform? Do you believe that they will keep any of those promises they're making? No, no. No. They really think the people of TNT are fools. They really think that. To make the same promises 10 years ago, right down to now. Consider what the UNC is willing to do. And that comes in. My colleagues from the trade union movement are here. We are talking about giving you a fair wage for a fair day's work. We are talking about dealing with your back pay. We are talking about your health and medical and other plans and housing. And of course, I just turned to John and said, boy, we have plenty work to do after the 28th. So brace your back now. We are ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Brace your back. We are ready. Consider the differences, backgrounds, experiences, abilities, personalities of all your leadership choices. And I know that you will always keep God in your thoughts. And on April 20th, you will make the right decision. You will make the right decision. Professor Cudjoe put in his column on Sunday about his choice. Do you agree for Professor Cudjoe's choice, which is the UNC and the coalition of interest? Do you agree with John Jeremy's choice? Do you agree with Roche's choice? Do you agree with Swarat Singh's choice? Leroy and Felicia, we say yes. Above all UNC members and friends, do you agree with Kamla's choice? And that is, put your X next to the rising sun for every candidate, every single candidate. You will see, as I said, only a leader who has walked the same roads as you can understand your feelings, your pains, and ambitions, and make decisions in your best interest. Only a leader who has shared your life and your experiences can love you and your children how you should be loved and taken care of. So on election day, vote for a party and parties who value you and your children. In this election, vote for a party which values you and your children. Vote for UNC. Vote for our coalition partners. This election, you're voting to defend victims of home invasions and crime. You're voting to prevent victims from suffering from depression, from anxiety and fear. You're voting to prevent broken marriages and broken families. You're voting to prevent suicides and bullying. You're voting to make sure your children are not scared for life, for the rest of their life. This election is the turning point. John used the word juncture, junction, where we are on a junction tonight. And we are on a junction, and we must take the road that leads us into light, into safety, and into security. And that road is only one way. It is a road that leads to the UNC and our coalition partners. This election is a turning point where we sink or float, where we sail or drown as a people. This election, as I say, is a turning point when we decide to choose light over darkness. This election is where we can stand together, united, focused, strong, bold, and confident. I say, in these last 2 weeks, it's going to get hotter, but it's also going to get better. So I share with you tonight, my name is Kamla. Stay calm, stay calm, stay calm and focus. One road to victory on the 28th. Vote the UNC and vote the coalition partners together with us. For 10 years, devaluing your lives, we know the answer. It's so easy to say, vote them out. For all 10 years of buffing, bullying, bloodletting, and betrayal on the 28th, let us politically bully, buff, and run them out of office on the 28th. Politically, we will do it, and legally, we will do it. The UNC has been giving you plans and policies for the campaign. The PNM is trying to provoke us, but we have no interest in Bacchanal. Our interest is in improving the lives of the people of TNT. I want to tell you some of these policies. I ask you to listen and consider. I support stand your ground laws. The PNM does not support stand your ground laws, but the UNC supports stand your ground laws. They don't care, because when they're driving, security in the front, security in the back, security on the side, all around them, their families, and they're all protected. They don't want stand your ground laws because they are standing their ground to keep you down and to oppress you. The UNC will bring in stand your ground laws. I support easy access to legal firearms for law-abiding citizens. I ask all these brave men here tonight, brave and the big and the bad and the strong, and you have a home invasion and somebody is there beating your daughter and raping your wife, what will you do? You have to have legal firearms to protect your family. You must have them to protect your family. And so we will bring the laws for legal firearms for law-abiding citizens. I call upon you to support the UNC, which wants to give you these legal firearms so you could defend yourself, your loved ones, and your families in your homes. We will support, the UNC supports state-provided legal personal firearms for all police and prison officers so they can protect themselves on duty and off duty. They must have legal firearms to protect themselves off duty. Too many of our protective services lose their lives because they cannot even protect themselves. How are they going to protect you? How? We will give them legal firearms in a regulated manner to ensure they can protect themselves on duty and off duty. You know, when I was we were in government last, I put into our budget, national budget, that should an officer die in the line of duty, we will give them a payment of $1 million to the families. To the families. We were to put the legislation in place, but you know what happened? We went out of office, and 10 years later, that legislation is not in place. We will put that in place, that an officer who dies in the line of duty, his family should know that they will be taken care of. We'll put it in the law. Put it in the law. So, I call on you then to support these policies. Officers must have the firearms to protect themselves. I tell police and prison officers that under my next government, I will ensure personal FULs and personal legal firearms for each one of you in a regulated manner, as I say. You will be protected. The UNC supports reopening the Petrotrin refinery. The UNC supports the reopening of the Petrotrin refinery. And tell you ever hear thing? I'm watching Mr. Young Stewarty on the TV. The man said the PM never shut down Petrotrin. Did you all hear that? Stewart is telling the country they never shut down Petrotrin. So who shut it down, Stewart? It was the PM, wicked, incompetent, shut down the Petrotrin refinery. That's who did it. Don't come and play. You know, he's like Pontius Pilate now. Washing his hands of that. You will not escape. Rowley and Stewart and that entire cabinet. We will never, ever forget who blew the lights off at the Petrotrin in Point-à-Pierre. Who? It was Rowley and Stewart and the PNM. Never forget. Decimated the Southland. From here in Pinal, there's a part of in the Clark Road there, that all that gone, abandoned then. Down Santa Fora, in Point-à-Pierre, down Point Fortin, the whole Southland decimated when they shut down that refinery. So we will, I tell you, we will reopen that refinery with the help of Mr. Roger and the union. We support the laying of the CLICO report in Parliament after you elect us, because the PNM is now trying to sell the CLICO assets to friends and financiers before the election. I'm warning you, do not sell out the CLICO assets before election. You already sell out Trinity Mall. Do not do it on the eve of an election. And we will lay the full CLICO report in Parliament. PNMs have refused to lay that report. We will do it. I tell you, we support no VAT on about 7,000 food items. No VAT. Food items. We did it before, and we will do it again. Did it before. We did not bankrupt the country. We did it before, so that you'll have lower food prices for yourselves and your families. We support free laptops. All SCA children, laptops coming after the 28th of April. Laptops are coming back to you. And we need protection. Our school compounds start to say. We will have police officers deployed inside schools to protect our children in schools. We support the reopening of the gate and expanding the Children's Life Fund to cover more types of illnesses. We support lowering foreign used car prices by reverting to a minimum age of 6 years instead of 3 years. We will do a comprehensive review of the demerit point system and bring to a halt the oppressive and abusive ticketing system. We'll also enable citizens to import classic cars because, you know, we consult and then lead, we listen. There are some people who want these classic cars. Look, if you had the money to pay for it, go ahead. Not my money. But if you have the money and you want a classic car, that fraternity here in our country, we will help you. We have an economic transformation plan. It includes growth poles across our country and the East-West Corridor manufacturing hubs. I'll pause here for a moment and so just remind me, we're sitting there. They want to find out where we will get the money. They say we're putting all these lovely plans, but you know why they ask that? For two reasons. I'll give you one. Because they know they empty the treasury and pack their bags and run away. First, why are they asking where we'll get the money? You heard the other speakers, Munilal and others here, telling you how they squandered money because they did not have priorities in spending. The last time I spoke, I think we were in Cuba. Over $17 billion wasted when that money could have been used to pay workers fair wages. And look, I say, never fear, Kamla is here. We will find that money. We will find it. We will find that money. We'll find it. They spent $530 billion. $530 billion. Over $500 billion. That is more than any other government has ever spent in the history of our country. So where did that money go? Where did it go? Because right here, a stone's throw away from where I stand, two massive schools, almost completed by the time we left office in 2015, in bush and vine and overgrown. They didn't build schools. We built over 106 schools in the length and breadth of the country. Every nook and cranny, we built schools. So where did that money go? Not to build schools, not to build police stations, not to pay workers. Where did it go? And very soon, I tell you, God don't sleep. Only God wears pajamas sometimes. And after the 28th, we will find out where they squandered the money of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We'll find out and we will tell you. I'm telling you, there will be money to pay workers. This government has money for everything except to pay workers. As I said, they spend the $530 billion. They're complaining now about paying workers $7 billion in back pay, but you spent $500 billion. You can't even imagine what $500 billion is. Can't even imagine. They found money to pay Rowley $87,000 a month. They increased their own salaries, but they're giving you what? 4%. And some of you not even getting 0%. Spent $87,000 a month. Stuart getting that same $87,000 a month. All those PNM big boys ministers increase their salaries, but they can't find money to increase for the workers. Did you know? I told you, we have a one-day Prime Minister, Stuarty. He was sworn in as president today. And guess what? Next day, whop, dissolve the parliament and call election. One day Prime Minister is now the $1 million man. Because of that one day, for the rest of his life, he will collect $1 million a year in pension. Every single year. And he tells us he's a young man. So he has plenty years more in front of him. Every year, $1 million in pension. And whilst he's getting that $1 million in pension, Rowley also getting the same $1 million in pension for the rest of their lives. They couldn't find money to pay workers, but yet they found money. They found money to pay Al-Rawi's rent. Remember that? Renting building from Al-Rawi. They found money to pay Stuart's brother over $4 billion in finance contracts. Over $4 billion in finance contracts. But they can't find money to pay workers in this country. That is why we say on the 28th, get out of here, go, 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 let us pass, go, go, run, run. And you said we are now red, responsible and whatever. What you said, remove. Answer say, run, pack your bags and go away. We're coming on the 28th of April. We are coming. My friends, we will redirect that P&M Eater Food money to support, take that money and support land for the landless. Take that money, prioritize, you have to prioritize. We'll take money to repave our roads. We'll take that money to implement a comprehensive traffic alleviation plan and to supply what? Water in your taps. We will do it. They claim there is no forex for you, but every fake elite business is getting the foreign exchange. We say in the UNC that we will deal with that situation. We say that we'll support creating thousands of new jobs as we did before. We also support lowering taxes and strengthening the public procurement laws. Remember, we passed those laws just before we left office. It took us 5 years. The PNM did not come to the committee meetings. They voted against the procurement laws. We finally passed it. Only, lo and behold, when they came back into office, they gutted the procurement laws. They gutted it. We will put back into the procurement laws what is necessary to ensure that those involved in fraud and corruption through procurement packages, we will deal with them. We will deal with them. We support, well, I should say first, we are totally against water rate and electricity rate increases. Totally against. Totally against. We are totally against the property tax. Totally against. We support deregulating the financial sector to make it easier for citizens to deal in their businesses, to access financial services, and of course, to get loans, whether it be for mortgage, whether it be to help your child go to university. We will make that easier. We support making quality housing more affordable and more accessible to all people, to all. We have 2 and 3 generations of people, families, living in the same house, same apartment, sleeping on floor, because the price of land and houses totally out of reach to so many. We will bring back the Land for Landless program. We will bring back the Land for Landless program. And we will create systems for making affordable housing available to as many as we can. So I'm saying the others have devalued you for 10 years. 10 long years. And now when you come to this crucial date, I tell you, I know many will vote for the UNC because that government devalued you, as I say, for 10 years. They devalued you by letting gangsters extort your businesses, to force you out of your apartments, to force you out of your homes. Some had them forcing your sons to join gangs at gunpoint. That's what they allowed to happen. They devalued you and your families by making you and your children live under self-imposed curfew. You're afraid to go out, you're staying home. That's a curfew. They're boasting about the SOE and no curfew. Well, this whole country went into curfew mode under this PNM government because you're afraid. They devalued you by letting gangsters disrespect your parents. They devalued you by allowing your wives and daughters to be raped and beaten by criminals, in some cases to be murdered by criminals. We will not forget. We will not forget. I warn you, we will find them and we will run them out of town. We will find them. They devalued your income with high food prices, high fuel prices, high rents, high land prices, high house prices, property tax, inheritance tax, and increased water, electricity rates. That's how they made your income, whatever little you had, worth even far less because everything else went up. Everything else went up. They devalued you when they did nothing while your homes and crops were flooded. They did nothing while criminals came to steal your property, to steal your crops. They devalued workers with this. I am not an obscene person, so I will not say the word. But they devalued you with this foolish 4% insult and forced workers to choose between keeping jobs. Remember that? It's job or job. You had to choose between the job, the vaccine, and your job. A total false dilemma for anyone to have made. And now we are seeing all the reports about the vaccines and the after effects of those vaccines. They devalued you when they refused to fire Hines, first of all. He's the sleeping beauty in the parliament. Forever sleeping. We had to dub him now, Sleeping Beauty Hines. Sleeping Beauty. They devalued you and your feelings and your thoughts and your ideas when they refused to fire Dial Singh. We had so many of our babies dying in a hospital, man. A place where you should be safe. In the NICU, Dr. Bodo will tell about 19 babies. In any other country, that man gone long time. They still have him there. They're putting him back as a candidate. To do what? To come and make more babies die in hospitals? We said, no way, DL Singh. No way. Get out of St. Joseph because Devish Maharaj is coming for you in St. Joseph. Don't come back. You should be so ashamed. You should hide your face. 19 babies died. 5,000 persons died from COVID under your watch. 5,000 murders and more under the watch of Hines and the rest. And remember, Stuart was National Security Minister at one time. Huh? They are all failures. They have all failed. I said they devalued you with recusals, rentals, coal pot. Remember the coal pot, man? I know my mother had a roti shop in Siparia. And the preferred way of cooking was coal pot. And the coal pots really make a very nice meal. So when you agree, you can get a little smoke and what, very, very nice. But this is a man telling you ride a bicycle. The coal pot man said ride bicycle. He said don't eat macaroni pie on Sunday. That's what they want to do. They defeat you stupid, devaluing you. They treated you like criminals because you didn't take the vaccine. They devalued you with bad roads, no water in your taps, high traffic fines, unfair demerit point system. They devalued you. You have to watch it that way. Don't stand up and cuss. I always tell you, don't tote, vote. Don't tote feelings. Come out and vote. Come out. They devalued Simeon Daniel, Antonio Francois, Kevin Kyle Spring, Andre Barrett, Ashanti Riley, Adriel Lallan, Jomel Modest, Ezekiel Paria, Peter Ken children, and so many more we can name. Devalued them, just wiped out, snuffed out in their innocence as young children. They were murdered, these children, not protected by the state, but the same security services, remember, they could find, they get back in no time at all a stolen cell phone of a minister's son. You remember that? Minister's son phone, somebody thief it. They could find that in rapid time. They devalued all our children when they cut the gate, when they cut the laptop, when they cut the scholarships, textbooks, school transport, school feeding, everything cut. Devalued you when they did nothing about school bullying. Nothing. I saw the Minister of Education, who is going back as a candidate, I don't know why, Minister Dolly Gadsby, on TV. So I'm talking about, well, it's not only school had to deal with bullying, but first it's happening in the schools. Deal with it in the schools first. What did you do for 10 years? We lost lives, young children, because of bullying. Gadsby, madam, telling us now, hey, don't worry, we'll deal with bullying. Why you didn't deal with it for 10 years before we lost so many of our own children? Why? They can't answer the whys at all, but they could quick to peel back every distraction in the world. I ask of you, UNC members and friends, do not get caught up with their distractions. When they show the bacchanal and whatever, you talk to them about policies and plans to improve people's lives. Don't go down into that rabbit hole. They want to put us off track, put us into the rabbit hole, which is where they are. That's where they are. And we must not go down that rabbit hole with them. We stick to our plans, our policies to help people. And then they devalue us, everybody, bad road, no water, all these other things. They devalued all of us, man, woman, and child in this country. They did nothing, as I said, about the school bullying. When you send your children to school, they're bullied every day relentlessly. The PNM did nothing to stop it. You see your child go from a happy, bubbly child, and you see a child becoming, reclusive and terrified to go to school. That is a devaluation of your child's life. You feel the pain as a parent to see what has become of your child, crying out for help, and they do nothing. Nowhere in public commentary for the last 10 years, from government reps, business chambers, pseudo-intellectuals and eater food elites, has any of the PNM devaluation of average citizens been called out. Not one of them. No business chamber had anything to say when these children were slaughtered. When children are bullied, they had nothing to say. So don't come now to tell Kamla and the UNC and our friends what to do, because you lost your voice. The eater food people lost their voices for 10 years. Bring back the voices of the real people of this country. Hear their cries, they're crying out for help. They want help, and we will give that help. We will deliver it. We will. It was the same old story of glibness, intellectual laziness, shallow commentary, shameless pandering from sections of the business community, fake elites, and eater food commentators. That's all we were getting. That's why you had to thank a man like Selwyn Kujoli, brave man. He come out and he called the spade, and he called it what it was as was happening. We have to thank Ansel Roger. We have to thank Leroy and Felicia. And when they talk, well, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I think John dealt with that rabbit hole where they want to send me. But I know we are all, I repeat, one human race. Together we must live, together we must die. Let us work together and let us make it happen. So they turned a blind eye, all these people, John. They turned a blind eye to PNM oppression and continued waiting with their begging bowls for contracts, national awards, state board positions, while average people were being devalued by them. We have to thank Father Kennedy Swarat Singh. He's a brave man too. He has stepped out, he came on our town hall, he made his voice heard. Give him a round of applause as we thank him. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but you are men of courage. And I know why. Because you put country first, as John told us. You put country first. Put country first. I tell you, these eat-a-food elites, turning a blind eye, waiting with begging bowls for contracts, for national awards, state positions. Average one, none for you, because you see, greed has no shame. Greed has no shame. And up to today, they will not call it as it is. They are not brave enough to come out, and tomorrow the papers will say, oh, Kamla, buffing up XYPQ. Well, they deserve to be buffed. Come out and let your voices heard on behalf of the people of TNT, the suffering people. Some of them enjoy the fat of the land, and they will do everything in their power to ensure that the average citizen never enjoys it as they do. That is why the PNM could spend $530 billion on their friends, on their families, on eat-a-food financiers. And they say, bold-faced, they can't find $7 billion to pay workers their back pay. We live in times where the bravest amongst us are now standing up for one another, speaking up against the fake elites, speaking out. Fake elitist greed and oppression. They are now lobbying for the rights of the differently abled, the abused, the people suffering in silence, and those wanting a better life for themselves and their children right here in TNT. The voices are coming out. They're joining with us. We are joining with them. This government and their PNM finance pop-up parties like to talk about patriotism when it suits their agenda. Only when it suits their agenda. But let me tell them, as you will tell them, patriotism does not mean pandering to the government for favors. That's not patriotism. It's not. Patriotism does not mean sinking with a PNM ship if you see it going and down and doing it only for freeness. It doesn't mean that. Patriotism does not mean allowing others to suffer while you become greedier. That's not patriotism. It doesn't mean staying silent to eat a food while others are being abused or taken advantage of. That is not patriotism. And so we must press on to the mark of the higher calling, which is everyone being treated fairly and equally in our land. I say again, the PNM's general election campaign, this campaign, our campaign, this election campaign, is to insult, denigrate, smear, and say that hundreds of thousands of Trinidadians, Trinbagonians, they will say, you are not patriotic. Their campaign will be that people are bad talking the government. Their campaign, as always, is to do exactly what they want to accuse us of doing, and that is to divide our country. We must not let them do it. Their plan is to try and alienate thousands of the electorate across TNT. They're saying that the hundreds of thousands of people who are in pain, who are hurting, who are fearful, who are anxious and emotional, they said those people bad talking the government. You ever hear things so? People are suffering and speaking out, they said they're bad talking the government. Well, government of the day, you deserve to be bad talk because as John told us earlier, we are beyond a state of crisis. And there is too much suffering in our land. Look at their campaign. They say Kamla bad talking the government. They say the unions bad talking the government. They say influencers bad talking the government. They say workers bad talking the government. So when what they're talking about is everybody bad talking the government, who you have to blame for that? We have only yourselves to blame for that. The families of the children and the women who were raped, murdered, and missing, they said they bad talking the government. The thousands of small businesses and women trying to make ends meet and really see in trouble, they said they too bad talking the government. The thousands upon thousands of workers who want fair wages for a fair day's work, they said they bad talking the government. And young people who want a job, they want to buy a home, they're afraid of getting murdered, they said they bad talking the government. The US crime advisories, they say they bad talking the government too. They say the UK, by putting the visa restriction, they bad talking the government too. UK and EU crime advisories bad talking the government. That's the PNM's campaign for this election, be warned. Their campaign is that the whole world, the whole wide world, and we right here in TNT bad talking the government. So you know when it's time to go, just go now. Just go. Just go. The 28, let us remove them and let us run them out. As I close, I say to you, political leadership is about love, empathy, and caring. It is about competence, experience, and emotional intelligence. It is about compassion, which comes out of shared experiences and sacrifice. It is about strong, competent leadership. It's not about buffing. It is not about berating. It is not about blaming. It is not about bullying. It is about listening, comforting, encouraging, and accepting responsibility for the lives and livelihoods of people. It has been a decade of disaster and destruction that you have endured in this land. Working people have felt the decade of destruction the most. Therefore, no matter what the PNM and the finances say or do, it will change nothing, it will fix nothing, it will deliver nothing. And I join with Flip to say, together we will fix it. We will fix Trinidad and Tobago. The real people of this country, they know the UNC cares. They know our coalition partners that they care to. They know UNC cares. And they know that Kamla cares. This government will hear the voices of the 99% on election day. We are going to riot with our voting fingers on April 28th on election day. April 28th will be the day we say a no to this bully government. On April 28th, the sun will rise and shine its light on every single one of us. You know, there's one thing you must always remember. As surely as day follows night, the sun will rise again. It will rise again. I again ask you, don't go to work on election day. Go out and vote. Don't go to work on election day. Stay home, go and vote. And when you finish vote, go and pick up everybody you know. Bring your mother, bring your father, bring your neighbor, bring your children. Bring out every single vote on election day. Vote early. This is your way that you can contribute to the victory that will come on the 28th. Many people are asking, they want to help, how to help? Well, this will be the most important help that you can give to the UNC and our coalition partners. Vote and carry everybody you know and talk to everybody to come out and vote. Brothers and sisters, Judgment Day is coming. I close with a message to the oppressors of our people. Judgment Day is coming. Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Can you taste it? Do you know it? Judgment Day is coming. There is nothing they can say or do to stop it. Because the big, bad UNC is coming down the road. We marching arm in arm and we are coming together. We will join arms and march forward to victory. Together, we will share that victory. But more important, together, we will fix TNT and rescue TNT for all, every single body. And you know why? Because when the UNC wins, everybody wins. I say you have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me. But guess what? You know what? You will never ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. May God bless you. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. I thank you very much. Go brave. Go safe. Thank you. God bless.
When UNC wins, everybody wins.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Mr. Yes, come up. DJ, play some tunes. Only don't go nowhere. We have an icon coming to perform for you after the photo op. Please don't go anywhere. Culture is next.
Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins.
Everybody say.
Everybody say Kamla.
Yeah, man. Every vote for UNC, peace and prosperity. We can secure we family right here in TNT. Say every.
Of course, welcome to In the Village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Washington, you on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, Tommy, a resounding speech again with policies for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And let me say this, Abby, Tommy, it have a fella in the chat, Daryl Superstar, welcome. Yeah, Vol song boy, that speech boy. She on fire, boy. You know, Abby. Let me say hello to Abby. Abby taking on a fella named Palos.
I saw that.
And his licks left, right, and center. I never see. Tommy, it reminds me when I grew up in Chumakak. And my mother used to be beating me. And the more licks I get, is the more licks I wanted. Oh God, Abby. You beat Palos all over the place. He gone now. He gets so much licks. He gone. Lord of his mercy. Abby.
He was a lot of time in bad though.
Tommy, you know what he's sad? You know what I just get upset with? What does get upset with Patty and PM, Fox and Gordon Joseph and them? It's like they don't do a homework, Tommy. No homework by them, you know.
What's
Seriously,
homework?
man. Oh God. Before you do things, do a little homework now. At least a little homework. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Yeah.
But you know who blew my mind? John Jeremy.
Oh yeah, boy. Yeah, already had an audio to cut. Yes, Abby, welcome, boy. Abby, yeah. What's now? I ain't gonna lie. To be honest with you, I think Abby cannot take over Caribbean Soul tonight.
Oh yeah.
And his licks for Palos. I call him Palos. Palos didn't know what to do. When Palos gets so much licks, Palos shift the goalpost to Trump.
Yeah, I saw he reached White House.
Yeah, the man was getting, the man was even getting licks in his toes, you know. I'm telling you, yeah, good night to you, Radira. Volsag, no joke, you know. The man gets so much licks, Tommy, he had to go and excuse himself to pee. That's serious.
You get licks to make him piss.
You had to go and pee. Yeah, you had to go and pee. All right, folks. Call again. I can miss that call.
Yeah.
Oh God. So Abby tell me take a backseat tonight. She have this. Yeah, boy. She had it, boy. Did you Baba? Tommy serious. I thought Oli used to give and since Bitcoin call, I thought Oli used to give Gordon Dryden a lot of licks. But tonight, oh God, I'll be getting licks. Bitcoin welcome. Yeah.
What's going on?
Fiery boy. Fiery. Who sing that? Yeah, who sing that song? Merchant? We come in fiery.
Yeah, that's our comment fiery.
Yeah. Tonight, boy, that speech was off the chart, boy. Be honest with you.
No, that wasn't Merchant. That was
No, I think that ain't working here tonight. Who was that, Tommy? Hold on, Bitcoin. Who was that?
That they working here tonight?
No. We coming fiery.
Um,
That was Merchant, man. No?
Merchant?
All right. We go get it. Go ahead, Bitcoin.
Yeah, like I say, the raise meeting work. And I'm glad she said that we're voting on plans and policies because that is my interest, right?
Yeah.
And the kind of movie long talk with the PNM trying to get from UNC to fall into that Pandora box. And not only that, we saw the advent of two senior counsel, one here and one on the PNM platform. And if I had to go with any senior counsel, I would go with John Jeremy.
Any day.
That man was to the point.
Any day.
And he was very decent in the way he conducted himself.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
As far as I concerned, Larry Lada, it should never even be a senior counsel. He could be a bush lawyer from my point. Because of the way he conduct himself.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Attacking the woman and calling the woman all kind of thing. But
Yeah.
John Jeremy come out and he
Class is class. Class is class.
Yeah, he talk for me hard.
Yeah.
When I hear Andy Roberts call the man, Andy Roberts do the man boy. Because the last time Again.
Yeah, you all right, go ahead.
Bitcoin.
Go ahead.
You breaking up.
Yeah, I hear him now. Bitcoin call back. Let me see if I can get this call here. No, that is me, boys. I connecting. That is my phone.
Phone.
Yeah. Miss Santa Cruz, I seen you back. My phone connecting. Bitcoin call back. That was my phone. Somehow it connecting.
Oh, Bitcoin.
Tommy, Angela Darius. Thank you very much. It's my show.
My show.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Angela. Yeah, Bitcoin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said the man was to the point and he talked for me hard.
Correct is right.
You know, Stuart Young and this government feel like a pull wool over people, you know.
Correct is right.
All that he's supposed to do in the last 10 years, he tried to rush it down and make it look like he's doing it now. And that's his failure on my point of view on his behalf. Because he sat in all the big ministries, communication, national security, he was the prime minister, and he was some other minister too, energy.
Yeah.
All of those ministries that man was in, he failed with a capital F. Failed.
Correct.
What I'm trying to do, they are a set of buses, Mr. Wall Street.
Yeah.
That was for the differently able. They let the buses run down, right? And wasn't working. You know they're fixing the buses now for the differently able people to use.
Yeah.
And then they're fixing the buses before the election. So they couldn't fix it for the last 5 or 6 years when the buses were down. Yeah, they're gonna fix it now. But they can't fool people with that. You know, the differently able people having a protest outside the Red House on Monday. I go send you the clip of the lady sent me.
Yeah, man.
Play it if you want on this show.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you as it is. They try and you know, say they're going to buy a new set of fleet of buses for the different people. I don't want to hear that. You should have done that long time ago for the people and them. You're going to do it now. I'll tell you, all these things with the bank charges and the forex and all this other nonsense. This man coming and talking. It's only a set of political banter and to fool people to make it look like you're doing something, but you're doing nothing.
Correct.
Good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, man. You know, Tommy, let we compare and contrast, Compare and contrast. Listen to Kamla Prasad Busesa on our platform. Listen to the policies as opposed to what we're hearing from Prime Minister Young. Only one set of rhetorics and race. Stuart Young is the last person, I'm telling Prime Minister Young, you is the last person to talk about race, you know. Until you apologize to black people for calling them pottongs and termites, we don't want to hear from you, you know. You have no moral authority to talk anything black. Nothing. You, Prime Minister Young, stood on a platform and called black people pottongs and termites. We will never forget. And we'll never forgive you for that. Right? We never forgive you. And don't forget what he did to the young man in I don't know why this phone is ringing or not. Let me see something here. Oh, here we go. It's not ringing. Miss Santa Cruz, welcome. Hello, Miss Santa Cruz. Good night.
Good night to you and to Uncle Tommy and to everybody out there.
Good night.
Well,
Good night to you, Miss Santa Cruz.
we survived it. We
Yeah.
survived it. That shows we have a strong heart here tonight. Well, I think everybody was shocked to see John Jeremy on that platform.
Correct is right. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could just imagine how Rowdy and Stuart were cussing. They must be cussing, win and biting concrete.
Concrete. Santa Cruz.
Jeremy.
Wait now, Santa Cruz. Wait. They even biting concrete.
I like that one.
I ain't heard that one before. That's a good one. I don't use that one.
Biting concrete. I like that.
To see how many stalwarts, right, moving away from the PNM because they see people are not blinded by the PNM stupidity.
But Miss Santa Cruz, let me ask a question. Who will the people of Trinidad and Tobago take? Jeremy or Lala? Who would they take? Let's be honest.
They would prefer to take John Jeremy.
Correct is right. That is an easy decision. That ain't no big decision.
You know why? Because of Larry Lala's nasty attitude when he cross over. Nobody wants to see him. Nobody wants to hear from him. And you coming after, I mean, people are crawling out of the PNM because of what took place over the last 9 years, right? So many murders, especially with the divers and all of that. And you, Larry Lala, mounted a PNM platform about great is the PNM. I think that was the straw that broke the camel back with everybody with him. Nobody wants to see him again.
Correct.
Nobody.
Correct. And Miss Santa Cruz,
yeah?
Listen to this, Tonight, the political leader of the UNC was fiery like Maestro. Fiery.
Yes.
Fiery. She, watch now. You know the dragon dead? The dragon dead in Venezuela? Right? She was spitting fire and it wasn't from the dragon because it dead.
No. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So let them talk about her. Let them talk about her physically fit she is.
She fit.
But I keep telling
don't
study.
You cannot be unfit and stand up there and talking and blowing fire like that.
For almost an hour.
And you know the PNMites always have to say she reading from a script, but she was not reading from any script.
Listen, let them say what they want.
She was not reading. She was belting it out tonight. And I keep warning them, instead of all the talking about her physical health, check Stuart Young mental health. Stuart Young and Rowdy mental health. Because something is definitely wrong.
But Miss Santa Cruz in the past, wasn't Stuart Young you on falling going on the steps and fall down? Did he go?
He was playing Humpty Dumpty.
I'm just asking.
Yes.
I'm just asking.
When
go ahead.
Rowdy fell down in the panya too.
Oh yeah, that's true, That's true. I forget that one.
Yes. And he said that he was drinking and he was hungry and he went and he drank and that caused him to faint away. But he was drunk.
Yeah, think it easy.
They could fool who they want, Wall Street. Yeah. But people are wising up now. Who want to continue playing stupid? Let them go right ahead.
Yeah.
And here now, they have a whole list. A whole list. Every time you raise an issue with them, they're bringing out this. I said, listen to me. That list was 2010 as Rowdy makeup list. Right? I said, bring facts now. Come and talk to me about what happened between 2015 and 2025.
Correct.
Right? Come and tell me about that. Don't come and tell me what has happened before. Because of all those lies, they were voted out. They can put up on memes they want. That Kamla going to crash the economy. And let me tell you something, Wall Street. These people are connoisseurs in lying,
Correct.
Connoisseurs in lying, Look at Keith Rowdy. He was imposed by Saddam Hussein with that 70 million in RDC contracts.
Yep.
And instead of you come there and try to defend it or something, you're going to talk about how the boy was walking and whining. What kind of leader are you?
Think
What
it
kind
easy.
of person are you? But you see, when Rowdy's caught in wrongdoing, that is what he does. Get facts.
Yep.
And that alone confirms that all what Saddam Hussein was saying is true. It's true. Wall Street, you take care and have a good night. You and Uncle Tommy.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. You know, they can say what they want. They can say what they want, Tommy. You know?
You can fool some people sometimes.
Yeah. Because the tides are turning. You understand? The tides are turning. And compare and contrast now, PM Fox. What we hearing from Stuart Young, right? Who called black people pottongs and termites. And from Kamla Prasad Besessa. Compare and contrast now. And I want Patty, PM Fox, Willie, Gordon Joseph, the Belmont midfielders sitting on the bench, I'll tell them to do a compare and contrast between what happened under Mrs. Kamla Prasad Besessa for black people as opposed to what happened under the UNC. What happened as opposed to what happened under the PNM. KFC, welcome.
Good night, Professor Washington, Uncle Tommy, man.
Good night, man. What's happening?
KFC.
Wall Street is the leadership.
Boy.
You man blowing fire.
She's spitting fire.
Not the dragon fire.
No, not the dragon fire.
Cannonball, political parasite on the next side.
Yeah. You know.
You see?
The kind of fire the PNM spitting is from a flambeau. Yeah.
That is different between UNC. We not have no back canal and no them say and they say and targeting people personal. We looking to bring policies, opportunities for the youths and them. Pay them as that back canal talk. This boarded woman was Minister Housing, Kamla Robinson talking about the back can't jump on foot. Who go lead the party looking for Muilaro. I said that thing about Mr. Wall Street. Hello?
Yeah, we hearing you. Go ahead.
Your partner, you real thirsty, but the man show you thirstiness, you know. In Savannah, among the platform and around you come out just from the bush. So I'm asking the hard questions.
Yeah.
I'm in the parliament after 9 years. I'm watching Saddam.
Yeah. Think it's easy.
I'm on a red nasty head stink with the old time. I'm talking about the issues. It's Saddam bring him out the bush, you know.
Yeah. He smoke him out, boy. Use a cock set and he smoke him out.
Yeah. Because Saddam is a young, bright
lawyer.
Yeah.
And KFC, I wonder what they will say now with Jeremy. What is the race talk now? The PNM go bring up now with Jeremy. What race talk go bring up now?
They're going to see who they catch our next slave as a slave driver again.
But think about it now. Intelligent, sophisticated, educated black people going over to the UNC. Selwyn Kojo going over to the UNC. Yeah.
Hello.
Stand by.
No problem.
You have to put me in there. I can't put myself in. You have to put me in there. You have to put me in. I can't put myself in. Yeah, nah. KFC, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I doing some exercise in our room there, and I go on YouTube and I see this come up, and I listen to it. I say, but wait now, boy, I wasn't bad, you know.
There's So explain it be on a platform just on UNC, right?
I say I wasn't bad, boy. It was a good. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I really
So
enjoyed it.
going on,
Yeah.
remember all that pass the bubble laws and send money to give it to the party and thing.
Yeah.
You know, rolling that by Bakuta. You have to spend money in the parliament, marking them young ladies and boys and them they are gone.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Okay, I have caller you live.
Yeah, good night, Uncle Tommy. Good night, Professor Wall Street.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. This is the Guru.
Yeah, Financial Guru, go ahead.
Listen to me carefully. John Jeremy may have just turned this election even more worse for the PNM. And I'll tell you why. Because you see, John Jeremy, I didn't even know that Mr. Jeremy was so involved with Mrs. Pesat. And I'm not trying to knock Mr. Lala, but I heard that they don't even want him on a PNM podium anymore. So that should tell you what is going on. But I want to leave with this, because yesterday I usually don't like to go back and forth with Gordon, but I want to say this to Gordon, because this is the problem. You could vote for whoever you want. You could support whoever you want. However, you must be able to establish wisdom and knowledge. And Gordon, you talked about knowledge, you talk about wisdom. But the Bible says that according to the Bible, knowledge is a foundation for wisdom. In Proverbs 4:7, it says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, we get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding, which is knowledge also. This suggests that acquiring knowledge and understanding is gaining wisdom. I want to leave with this. Yesterday, you pointed out, after you left Professor Wall Street, gave one socio-economic statistic. And I did not hear Gordon before, and I'm not trying to get on him, but I have to point it out, because it's edification which needs people like him who support the PNM willy-nilly have to understand. He pointed out Kareem Marcel is a statistic. That's one data point.
Financial Guru, I don't mean to cut you. Listen to this.
And tell me that about crime, and we should be looking at other countries. So let me leave with these statistics, Gordon. Trinidad and Tobago was in high investment grade status from 2016. And it is now at BB minus, Gordon, and I'm not pointing out, but since you came at me, I have to let you know, wisdom and knowledge. BB minus is junk status, and it is at BBBA2 in 2023, which is the lowest investment grade. And two more statistics. You talked about looking at other Caribbean countries. If you go and you look on the internet, there's something called the crime index.
Yeah.
Trinidad is lower than Guyana. Trinidad is lower than Jamaica. Trinidad is lower than Barbados.
Correct.
So these are things you should talk about by getting knowledge before you say you have wisdom. Have a good night, Professor Wall Street and Uncle Tommy. We have to vote for yellow on April 28th. It has to change. AOB, red or yellow? Yellow is the selection. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Thank you, Financial Guru, and good night to you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, take care.
Good night, Wall Street. Well. Another stalwart has joined the UNC accommodation. John Jeremy, that was a shocker.
Yep.
And the way tonight, I tell you, people are really fed up Rowdy and Stuart Young and this PNM.
But you know, Tommy, you know something, boy? And since KFC per minute, I go jump in it too as a black person. Right? Why are all these intelligent black people leaving the PNM and going over to the UNC? Why? Why? Because let me answer, we are seeing under the PNM how our people are suffering, and we look at the statistics under Kamla Prasad Besessa between 2010 and 2015, right? And as Kamla Prasad said, PNM promises never materialize. The days for making promises and promises and promises and the promises not fulfilled are over. We don't want to hear that no more. We don't want to hear the young fella coming on our platform and trying to fool people. We don't want to hear him talk about no race card. And you know what? Prime Minister Young, anytime I hear you go on a platform and start to talk about any race again, I go start sharing that patong and termites video all over the place. And you know, we think that's go all over the place. All over the place. Right? Because you, Prime Minister Young, call black people patongs and termites, and we will never forget that. Let me play this voice now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This message is to invite you to a peaceful protest on Wednesday, the 16th of April at 10 a.m. in front of the Red House. We will be highlighting the issues of the disability grant, that means test, food cards, and better employment opportunities for differently abled persons in Trinidad and Tobago. We also will be highlighting the issues surrounding that lady that went to sell bottled water to take care of her and her children, and her disability grant being taken away from her. So please, ladies and gentlemen, show up in your numbers. Tell a family, bring a friend. If you cannot attend, please send a representative. This protest will impact every differently able person in Trinidad and Tobago. So please share, and come out in your numbers. Let us show Trinidad and Tobago and the powers that be that we matter, we deserve better, and we are determined to get better. These are your friendly folks at the Differently Able Movement. Contact us, Nikisha Pay, on 398-4823 or Ornella on 266-5612. We will see you there. And please remember to share. Thank you.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. Thank you very much, Miss Santa Cruz. We go play that. Miss Santa Cruz, just remind me to play that, okay? That's a great public service announcement. Just remind me, and I will play it here all the time. And that is the type of things we're interested in doing here. COP, I know you're in your glory, boy. I know you went and drink your Morbi, no, you ain't drink, no, sorry. You went and drink your Morbi, your sour sub punch, your peanut punch, your fruit punch, all kind of punch.
Let me tell you something one time.
Eh.
See, anything too sweet with sugar and thing, I keep away from them things.
No way, you could drink Morbi without sugar. You could drink Morbi without sugar.
Yeah, you could do that, but dynamite mukalo sour sup. Babadina.
Yeah, well, sour sup too. Sour sup real good.
Yes, sir.
Good. Yeah. And good night, Trinidad and Tobago. You know Wall Street. Good night to you, Miss Santa Cruz. You know, if you see my Santa Cruz number, send me Santa Cruz my number now. And have a little conversation with Miss Santa Cruz.
I will send it for you. I will send it for.
I think we should give John Jeremy a round of applause.
Yeah. Let me do that.
This, pro.
Let me do that. That is a good point. Let me do that. Go ahead. Yeah.
And why you should get that? Why you should get that applaud? Because any sensible person listen to that meeting tonight. You will see that man speak from his heart. That man asks for racist talk to stop.
Yeah.
How how nice it was to see African brothers and Indian people, sisters in one platform saying, hey, we don't want a race thing. We want unity, love, and happiness.
Correct.
In spite of all that he was on the PNM side, the man was so honest to say, well, look, Kamla was the teacher in English in UE. And then after, he had was to borrow, she had was to borrow he law books and he notes, and she still come on top the class.
Yeah.
How nice that was to hear. That was so nice to hear. PM supporters, look at how they coming together. In the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, it have room for you all to stop thinking tribal. Stop staying with a political party that representing your grandmother, your grandfather, your mother, your father for over 60 something years, and then you live a life of poverty, depression, anxiety. That is what many of you living in those PNM areas and them today. Over 40 years, I hear 95% black and 5% white in jail, and the African mothers and fathers clapping and dancing with these songs and them, and not opening their eyes and saying, hey, that's my children and them inside here. The party I supported, not giving them opportunity, and look at where they ended up. Come across to the United National Congress side. You give she 5 years. 5 years they give Kamala, and your children get laptop. More feeding programmers in school. Never had no tax, no draconian tax. You had opportunity to create 55,000 jobs in 5 years' time. Dr. Rowley fire 145,000 in this country. Why you have to go down this road? I want to ask the young people them who listening and who observing. Ask your mother, ask your grandmother and grandfather who raised that pension for you. And the ones on them, the senior citizens on them, who wire your house and pass legislation that TNTech must wire people house and give them free current is under the UNC. The ones on them who are need comfort today, that all your mother and father still want to be PNM and still have the deed of comfort. They own the property yet because the PNM give them the deed for the land. Ask yourself how your mother and father get to build a house over there. Watch them in the face, young boy and young girl, and say, Mommy, where you get the opportunity to get this deed of comfort, and who give it to you? They're not telling you that, young boys and young girls, especially in the PLM areas. Opportunity in this country supposed to benefit you, young people. Responsibility supposed to be at the leaders and them and ask them to hold them accountable, because their responsibility is to create opportunity and create a better life for you. They're not doing that. They're keeping a better life for themselves, the family. You hear what Kamla Prasad Bisesa say? Stuart Young brother benefited over $4 billion from taxpayers' money.
NCB Global.
In parliament privilege. Protection. She's saying that out in the open, and nobody can charge she, nobody can push she into court. In my view, she's sounding like it's truth.
Correct.
And we are allowing that. We are allowing that. Not just we, but you, the mothers and fathers of the People's National Movement. Why is one MP, now Prime Minister for one day, brother, could earn $4 billion? Ask yourself what your child earn. Not even the laptop or a proper meal in school for breakfast. And their responsibilities to enhance that. That is the constitutional responsibility. They take an oath by the president to ensure your life better, Uncle Tommy and Wall Street and listeners all over the world. They fail us miserably. And if they fail us once, we say, all right, shame on them. But they fail you twice. You say, all right, shame on them. You can still say shame on them the third time. You have to say shame on you, mothers and fathers, for encouraging that behavior in governance. Uncle Tommy and Wall Street. Have a nice night.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Yeah. But
Bless.
but all the race baiting going on is on the PNM side, you know.
All the race baiting going on is on the PNM side. All the race baiting going on is on the PNM side. But I want to say this, the PNM have to understand that it have black intelligent people like myself, Tommy, Kojo, Jeremy, who would speak the facts, the whole facts, and nothing but the facts. And we go call out all your race baiting. Right? Because you can't say nothing because we wasn't there too, you know. We was in the belly of the beast with all the too, you know. So nothing about we. Go ahead, KFC.
Mr. Wall Street Coach, he was at PNM store. Watch.
Who's that?
He was Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Under Manning.
You gonna make headline tomorrow and all
PNM. No, you don't make headline already. It don't come out in the Express already.
Rolling trouble that attack him yet?
Yeah, the Express already put article on that. Long time. He no joke. He no joke. He no joke.
Well, my brother to say give him a round of applause, but you see black brother them suffering for the 10 years on the PNM. Yeah, they jump out.
Correct.
You have the youth and them to save.
Yep.
We cannot be saying PNM, and not uplifting the black brothers and sisters. And I end this nasty man short young, only Bolam and Kamla make a policy to uplift black people, everybody in the country. Where they get any money from?
Don't worry.
So they get the money to give you brother. And Rolly get that money to give you one.
Yeah.
You rich yourself for the pocket and raise the pension and this and divert and gone. And nothing for black people.
Correct.
Is something wrong with them? As I play black people in the country will go broken.
Yeah.
That's time that Mr. Watching the program short until tomorrow meet again.
Yeah, man. Bless. Bless.
All the viewers, everybody.
Yeah. So folks, put your closing comments in the chat and send your closing voice notes. Put your closing quotes and comments in the chat. Now, Tommy, listen to this. I mean, he's part of the chat. So every once in a while, you have to make him look out his miseducation that he received from the PNM doesn't make absolutely no sense. Listen to this. Wall Street intellectuals in the PNM have no respect for you and Kojo. And let me say this, Tommy. Let me say this. I don't know if I've said this before. When there was an opposition, Dr. Selwyn Kojo and I held a meeting in Queens for Prime Minister Rowley when he was in opposition. We were standing there with him. When he was in opposition, right. I just remember that as PNM Fox put that up. PNM Fox, let me ask you a question. Prime Minister Rowley ever passed close to your house? He ever passed by your house in the neighborhood where you live in? Ever passed there? I'm asking that question. I'm asking, listen, I don't live in Trinidad and Tobago, right? And just imagine, I don't live in Trinidad and Tobago. Only you in Trinidad and Tobago. And I guarantee you, he never even passed close to your house once. Once. Answer that question for me. Answer that question. You talking about intellectuals. How you could never be dumb and be able to teach at a university in the United States of America. You could never. All right? Never. Yeah, his point. Wall Street, you will not be considered a professor in Trinidad. Oh, God. You know, boy, that
he knows your qualifications?
Eh?
He knows your qualifications?
Tommy, no, listen, Tommy, you have to understand that when I'm dealing with PNM Fox and them, I'm only using 5% of my brain. I have to, right? Because think about this, Tommy. A little black boy come out of Chumakak Lavantil, building one apartment, 2-1. Grow up with a sapat, 1 sneakers. He had us to run in, go to school in, He might even have to go to church in that same sneakers. Left Trinidad and Tobago on July 4th, 1977 with one grip. Yeah, grip. One grip. Didn't know what else his life will become. But you know, I always used to say, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. Your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. Right? Thank you so much, Miss Santa Cruz. Excellent quote by Mayor Angelo. So that's why I don't worry about them. I don't worry about them. Yeah? Because none of them could hold a piece of my jockstrap. None of them. In nothing. 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 And yeah, and let me say this to PNM folks. Don't let my confidence interfere with your insecurity. Let me repeat that. Don't let my confidence interfere with your insecurity. And Tommy, I want to say something before we go for the break. I see our next fella call you yesterday as soon as I left the program. My wife and I, when we were going, bust out and laugh. We say, wait a man take out a hacksaw from boy. No, serious. My wife said, is that the hacksaw fella? I said, who you mean? She said, Rock. I said, yeah, that the hacksaw fella. But wait now, as soon as Wall Street leave, and I hear Brooklyn calling and say, but wait now, as soon as Wall Street leave, the hacksaw man call. But folks, let's take that break. It's in the village with Uncle Tommy, Professor Washington. Right back after this. Stick and stay, don't go nowhere.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. And let me say, Tommy, you handled yourself splendiferously. But, you know, he like that fella like a Christmas tree in the forest, you know. You know them, all you know them Christmas tree in the forest don't have?
Balls.
No balls. Oh God. He like a Christmas tree in the forest. He have no balls. So when you see them Christmas tree in the forest, there doesn't have no balls, you know. Oh God, let me play this other one.
Welcome to WZYE TV 95.9 FM. We come to you every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. And on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. on Let's Talk Politics. Like, share and subscribe to keep up to date with reality affecting your life. And as we always say, we bring the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And let me say to the fellow with the hacksaw, have a little testicular fortitude. Call when Tommy and I here. Don't call as soon as I leave to try to bombard Tommy with questions. But Tommy can handle his own stories. Tommy, my wife and I had a laugh going down the road, boy. We laughing. You know.
I can imagine.
Boy, if you what I say? Who sing that song? They're laughing. Who sing that song? Is short.
Pink Panther?
No. Everybody laughing.
Oh.
No, I want the laughing in the ghetto. If our next fella sing our next one. They're laughing in Parliament. Everybody laughing in Parliament. Anyway. Huh? I'm gonna play this voice note.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This message is to invite you to a peaceful protest.
Oh, yeah. All right. So Bitcoin send that one too. Let me take this call. Yeah, KFC. KFC, go ahead. I go play it again before we go.
Wednesday.
Mr. Wall Street, I still having something for them parent concern in Napa.
When?
Coco, Cream Ashe, man, we say, what union man, Luta. I set up parent pearl. They say, go by Balazi house and get invitation.
Oh, okay. They'll get a little small thing.
Yes, when parent comes, so kill Calypso and bring it dead because they don't think about the real issues.
Yeah, them kill
They
Calypso.
don't think about the Indian and Indian in power.
Yeah,
Now
them
we have
kill.
the Congress, Kurt Allen. He was a converse,
Yep.
The Robin.
Yep.
The young senator, he sing a good Calypso too.
Yeah,
He
he sing a good one.
too, but the other congratulate he and Kurt Allen for coming out and singing about the real issue. We're going on in the country.
Correct
And
as well.
I thought everybody who coming out was told much who seen the light under the PNM. The black brothers and sisters suffer too much under the PNM. Plus, we get a Chinese man also, we go dead.
Yeah, man. Oh, God. All right, let me see this one.
I ain't hearing from my partner Gordon Dryden tonight. That the talk was too high level for he. Too good for him to comment on. Wherever Gordon Dryden is, I hope you're in good spirits, sir.
Oh, God.
And they had a good birthday party for your son. Keep well, Gordon Dryden. We look to hear from you. Maybe tomorrow. Good night, Uncle Tommy and Mr. Wall Street.
Yeah, man. Bless. Yeah, let me see this here. What is this one here? Guyana to open World Trade Center in October. Yeah, I see that too, boy. All kind of thing, boy. Boy, people leaving we behind like crazy, boy. Nothing happening with we. Nothing happening with we. All right, so Ball Harbor, we go play the Potongs and Termite clips tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. We go play it. We go play it. We had to play that all. We go play that all the time. Yeah? We go play it all the time.
You gotta make a special ad out of that.
Okay. We gotta make an add-on?
Make an ad out of it.
Oh, yeah. Correct is right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trendsetter is right. Plain clothes song, we laughing. That's plain clothes. Yeah. Correct is right. Yeah. Steve Davidine, welcome. I believe it's color so funny and they're laughing. Yeah. We go play that tomorrow, Ball Harbor. Come here.
Close.
Yeah. Close, yeah. Close, yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyway. I ain't go back at that one. I go leave that one alone. All right. So folks, here's my closing comment. Oh, you know, Tommy, I wanted to give this statistics, eh? I saw this somewhere. PNM was in power for over 75% of the time in the history of Trinidad. The UNC was in power for 15.9%, and the NAR was in power for 7.2%. Over 75% of the time, the PNM was in power. And of all those years in power, black people suffering the most in that 75 years of PNM being in power. And they want to come back to suffer them more? Nah. We ain't standing for that. So that's a statistics I wanted to give there. Let me give my closing quote. Hold on. PNM folks, you and Patty and all of you all could stay suffering, right? Because all they want to suffer peacefully. Sorry, not me.
On this Monday, April 14th, I come before you with a quiet heart and a soul fully surrendered. This is not just any week. It is the holiest week in all of history, when heaven bent down to touch the earth, when love became wounded, when the cross became the throne of salvation. You knew the pain that was coming, the betrayal, the nails, the silence, and still, you did not turn back, out of love, for me. This holy week, Lord, don't let me live a faith that's only for show. Let this week be more than a moment. Let it be the beginning of a deeper, stronger, and truer faith. May every step you took inspire me to follow you with faithfulness, even when the road feels hard. Purify my heart, break my pride, quiet my fears, and give me the courage to truly love you. Jesus, this week is yours. My life is yours. Make me a true disciple in word and in truth. Amen.
All right. So in addition, folks, when you send your closing voice note, make it 2 minutes or less, 2 minutes or less for your closing voice note. So if you send our closing voice notes tonight and it's over 2 minutes, I'll play it. But in the future, when you send your voice note, your closing voice note, make it 2 minutes or less. All right. I ain't seen no voice note, so let me go to. Hey, Caribbean Soul, you ain't send your you didn't send. I think it's accomplishment number 13. So tomorrow you have to send number 13 and number 14. All right. Gordon Joseph says they came and take one of our own. I wonder who that was. I don't know. Was it Crow? I don't know.
I wonder if that was.
Eh?
I
Maybe
wonder
that
if
was.
was.
Eh?
I wonder if that was.
That was Crow. Maybe it's Crow. I don't know. Miss Atlanta says, you know who that was? Oh, Miss Atlanta, there's a good one, you know. You can't liberate a slave who has found comfort in his captivity. Way that deep, boy. You can't liberate a slave who has found comfort in his captivity. Way
Heavy stuff.
that heavy stuff, boy. Heavy stuff. I had to read this one. Closing comment by PM Fox. Wall Street, stop your BS. PM developed Trinidad and Tobago and made many successful black people in Trinidad and Tobago. Anyway, I just leave that one alone. Hey, Ball Harper 28, remind me tomorrow to get that we have that patongs and termites inside it. When the UNC win the general election, we all get good governance. There we go. All right, let me see your next. Life is beautiful. It's the system that ugly. Okay. All right, let me get these other closing quotes here. That's some nice closing quotes tonight, boy. Nice, too bad. Closing comment by Mr. Intellectual. Precious is the thing called knowledge. It's only thing that God has given to men that is accounted for wisdom amongst men. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. That's why we call him Mr. Intellectual. You know? We call it that for no joke. We don't give people no kind of joke name inside of here. You know? I mean, you know. Hey, look the one, boy. Miss Santa Cruz, there's our boss one, eh? Mayor Angelo, boy. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like here, I will rise. Miss Santa Cruz, I'm going to give you a round of applause for that. I have to give you a round of applause for that. That is no joke. All right, I'm gonna decide it. That is all right.
You ready for my closing contribution?
Yeah, hold on. I'll come to you after this. I'll get the last thing. Hold on.
There was just 1 or 2 others that I see. Why that thing go all the way there, boy? Hold on, Okay, that is Mr. I think Caribbean Soul. Okay, I think that is it for closing comments. Yeah, that is it. All right, Tommy, you can go ahead.
We can complain because roses have thorns. Again, we can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. That's from Honest Abe. Like I say every time, you, the man or woman in the mirror, you have to become that change that you want to see. However, when you look in that mirror, if you don't like what you see, you cannot blame the mirror. Never look down on a person unless you're giving them a hand up. Love you all. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing.
Okay, folks, and we're going to go out with these. See you guys tomorrow. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And remember, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for your weakness.
Listen closely.
Stuart Young is bolted to Venezuela's Maduro. If you take God out of your thoughts to vote for Young, you better brace for U.S. sanctions, say goodbye to U.S. visas, say goodbye to U.S. dollars for business, medicine, traveling, online shopping. Put yourself and your loved ones first.
It's time to rise up Trinidad and Tobago.
Enough is enough.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. Vote UNC.
Everybody say,
everybody say Kamla.
Come on. Every vote for UNC, peace and prosperity. We can secure we family right here in TNT. Say everybody know, this is the whole show. Who will ask all the tax and give the children laptops? Says, who we voted?
Yes, we voted for Kamla.
Every UNC family! Where's the flag? Where's the flag? Sing it out! Who?
Yes, we voted for Kamla.
Say Kamla.
Everybody say Kamla.
Hey. Kamla. We're waiting. The leader's coming. The next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla.
Yes, we voted for Kamla.
Kamla.
Everybody say Kamla.
Everybody, there we go.
Kamla. Yes, we voted.
But this one is for you.
Trinidad, you always be cool.
Stop coming by my house. Why come by my house again today for? One Joe, pick up yourself. Get familiar. World premiere.
Shut up, watch now. UNC a winner. UNC a winner. They excel in everything we in. UNC is the winner. Yeah, UNC a winner. No boy can box what we did. UNC is the winner. UNC a winner, we excel in everything we in. UNC is the winner. Yeah, UNC a winner, no boy can box so we did. UNC have a plan, enough preparation to take we out of sufferation. The others make we eat sand. Like them don't understand or them have too much money in them hand. All they look at the roads, it full up a hole on the highway, it's still on a hole. We crying out his soul, so we want some control. That's why UNC taking every poll. UNC a winner. UNC a winner, they excel in everything we in. UNC is the winner. Yeah, UNC UNC a winner. No boy can box for we then a UNC is the winner. UNC a winner. We excel in
don't come back my house again, brother. Don't come back my house again.
No boy can box for we dinner. I'm glad UNC come back to conquer. We have Kamla, she's a soldier. So the can't push poor people under. And I know we can't fake it. The space we have to break it. We working hard every day and can't make it. The country real hard, we can't fake it. This pressure I can't take it. We wait for too long. We want UNC on the podium. It don't matter where we from. It's time for them to come down. We wait for too long. We want UNC on the podium.
Where faith is mocked, but immorality is entertainment.